Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting, furious feature match here in Deluxe. We're on to the twilight of round 2, and the final feature match of this round brings us a battle of two high-powered octane Brandt Gate decks. In the top corner bearing the red gloves, which is ironic since Blue Deathstar is his archetype. We've got Flare Blade riding Vanguard into battle. Meanwhile, in the bottom corner bearing the blue gloves, we've got Angus with his tried and true welstra strategy. Now, both of these Brandt Gate decks are all about high-powered offenses and trying to take a stance that why wait for tomorrow for what you can do today. And both of these players actually know each other quite well. They're personal friends here, so this is going to be a very exciting battle for the both of them. Both of these players are also 0-1 in their respective blocks, so this is the perfect chance for them to seek some redemption and have a good shot at progressing in their block for round 2 here. And now, with my intros out of the way for our fighters, let me also intro my co-commentator. Once again, I am being joined by Arxel. How are we doing, sir?
Oh, let's get. Yo, I didn't know that we have a Gundam fight up in our hands.
It's a Gundam. Yeah, it's gonna be a really cool battle of the robots. This title card just looks good in general, right? And it's also a very interesting idea because when you have two decks that are going to prioritize offense over defense, it comes down to this whole slobber knocker where whoever hits the ground first might lose as a result. So I'm curious to see how this one's going to turn out. I'm sure you are as well. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get it started. Are we ready, fighters? If so,
yeah,
then let's go ahead and do this. Say it with me now. Stand up.
Stand up.
Vanguard.
Blue Death Star. Sora period.
Blitz mechanic. Wharton. Outdraw. And discard. A hard. Planet Wall Dragon in order to ride. Blitz best programmer Strata.
Ooh, and already a very fascinating discard. Discarding a PG. When I said that we prioritize offense over defense, I really meant it here, folks.
Let's hope that doesn't bite him later on.
All right, now moving on over to Vanguard's first turn.
All right, then. Ride. Blue Death Star. Dark Verdict Vidanis.
Ooh.
Alrighty, Dark Verdict Vidanis.
Answering in kind, discarding the heal trigger. Yep, they really are just saying screw the defense. We're just throwing hands.
We're all about pieces and aggression here, baby. Now, with the additional skills from going second, drawing an additional card and getting 3 energy for it as well. Now, one of the interesting thing about both of these grade 1s is they actually have this sort of odd similarity as far as Brandt Gate ride lines go. Most Brandt Gate ride lines, their grade 1s will search for their keynote orders when they're placed in the Vanguard circle. However, both Strasser and Verdanis actually need to wait until they're being rode upon in order to do such things, so they're a little bit slower on the uptake that way, but in the process, they still have some very powerful orders to provide to the table. Now, the draw on the energy has been calculated. Are we going to see any of the cards being thrown down, as Flare Blade will be the first to attack?
Swing with Adonis.
Okay, he's going to go for a nice easy 8. Oh, interesting. He's going to guard for 15 right off the bat. Okay, asking for an OT to pass.
Asking for the over breath.
No trigger.
No. Okay.
No trigger.
Interesting.
All right, that's no damage for Welstra here, but at the same time, that wasn't a trigger being denied, so perhaps Flare Blade is just going to rejoice that when his triggers do come in, his opponent may not be able to guard.
It's
all right.
Now. I draw. I discard lead into a verse to ride. Blitz best programmer Uber.
Whoa! Discarding a very interesting anti-tech card. Whoa! While Welstra here goes and gets its cards, this is an interesting one. Let me explain how it works. So when one of your units is being attacked, if your order zone has a set order, you can give your attacked unit 15,000 power. But if your opponent's Vanguard was placed by a card ability, it gets 30,000 instead. So he's using this as a defensive ability against Richter, whose superior rides this up from the hand. Very cool. All right, now back to the game.
Set eingarten. I attack with Uber. Using its skill, I operate eingarten and call it as 10,000 power unit.
Guard. I also guard with dekarcop.
Oh, interesting play here.
No trigger.
The persona right though.
A
That makes
fascinating
them handy.
fascinating decision from Danny here to not get the grade 2 order lubetzal from the ride line.
I attack with eingarten.
Guard, Melkmar.
Ooh.
My turn
Another-
is over, and
It seems both these fighters have a very similar philosophy. Because they lack really strong defensive values, they're going to try and take the opportunity to guard the very early attacks because it's the easiest to guard with lower numbers. All right then. Now it's back over to Flareblade for his turn too.
Dan and Raw. Okay, we're gonna go strike off with discarding Star Aggression, ride into Blue Death Star, Heavenly Death Ray, Stealth Vein.
All right, Vidonis is now be able to get a grade 1 strategy order, which for this deck, we've only got one viable target at the moment, that being Kill Shroud.
Yep, let's get this on with. Add Kill Shroud to the hand.
All right. Now, strategy orders are something that not a lot of people are probably very privy to. So while Flareblade plays out his turn, let me go ahead and explain how the general strategy of Avant-Garde works for those of us in the audience who don't understand this. So Avant-Garde was a deck that was originally released in DBT 09 and later got a big wave of support in DBT 13. Its effects are based around putting in strategy orders into the soul by the effect of your Vanguard Avant-Garde. When doing so, you get extra power and a variety of different skills based on those strategy orders. So the idea is that you use different strategy orders for different scenarios, hence the strategy. All right, now he swings, gets a draw trigger on the drive check. All right, getting a nice nifty extra card there. Good timing for that. Damage checking a fritchutz maximum. That's not what you want to see from Welstra. Uh-oh.
Well, let's hope he's playing more than one.
Oh, indeed. Although I'd imagine that he is indeed playing more than one. Otherwise, that'd be quite unfortunate.
Yep.
I will pave the way to. Hey,
So long as we just don't see one being discarded, I think we'll be good.
I ride the faded one of Guiding Star, welstra blitz arm.
All right,
Do you
discarding
think we do
persona.
this skill?
Wow, interesting.
No, I'll soul blast and discard a card. But given my hand, I'll discard Imparo. I'll add lubetzal. And eurianthy.
Ooh, interesting. Not adding a fritchutz maximum to the hand. I think I know what that implies.
Cool.
I'll
It's
then
either in
use
his
the
hand
divine
or-
skill.
そして特別 CEO 権限シルベ解放ディバインスキル発動
Oh, divine skill has
Actually,
been
hang on.
declared.
And I'll set eurianthy and maximum.
And it was in
Oh,
his
upgrade.
hand.
All
I'll upgrade
right.
maximum. No, I would take 5,000 power away from your Vanguard.
In addition to that, Urianthe gets an extra energy charge 3 and a draw. A powerful resource card.
Energy charge free and draw.
One interesting thing about this card in particular is that I think Welstra players over the sets have come to realize that Urianthe is definitely worth being more than a 1 to 2 of, just because of how powerful that draw and energy charge is to activate every single turn. Ooh, Fire Regalis
Fire
getting
Regalis.
played. This is really nice because, again, as we saw in a previous feature match, this is not regarded as an order play this turn. It is simply an effect, much like Twin Cast. So now you'll be able to look at the top 5 cards of the deck and call any piece. Calling the fenlicta, this is really good for him right now. Fenlicta is such a massive tempo swing here, being able to get that EB to get more cards. Let's see here. We know Lubetzal's in the hand there, so he'll probably activate that next.
Lubetzal.
Yep, just as the doctor ordered. Now being able to get a draw and then subsequently a soul charge 1.
Draw. Soul charge.
All right, drawing a card. Soul charging another Lubetzal. Unfortunate.
But he is pretty set up though for this turn.
100%. Now
Operate
fenlicta's intervening
lubetzal.
4. Now he operates lubetzal in order to get another card off the top 5.
Cool bobalmine.
Calling the
the bobalmine.
bobalmine. That's quite nice here, as there's only one CB to work with, so getting that every little bit of resource helps here.
Then a cool frihiet as well.
Okay.
Oh, no, there's a copy of my persona ride.
Huh?
Calling a
interesting.
persona ride. This is a very interesting play coming over here. You see, one of the interesting facets of fritchutz maximum is that it allows you the ability to bounce back a card when a superior calls itself from the order zone.
Now my
This
field
can
set up.
Yeah, this can include when you superior
damn.
call. All right, he's going to go ahead and declare battle phase.
And I'll start by swinging 21k to the Vanguard.
All right. He's going to begin here. And interestingly enough, because of the effect of bobalmine, if he swings to this second and gets into Soul of the Countercharge, that's just in time for Welstra Blitz arms to EB2 and use fritchutz maximum to CB1 and put back the other Welstra back to the hand. This is a pretty nice tactic that I also like to use whenever I use this deck, so it's kind of cool seeing this also being played on the stage of Deluxe. Alright, so 21 going against 5. That's a extra 20k guard being asked right off the bat there. Very vicious.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to put you through the ringer. I'm gonna make you work for this win.
Let's see what we got here. You're gonna proc. My guess is you're gonna proc of fritchutz maximum 2 times.
See
In that
here.
case, guard.
Ooh, guarding with 2 cards right away. He is not interested in that early damage, but still, 2 cards from the hand, now dwindling down to 5. That's costly.
What type of frihiet? Using its skill, I operate maximum again.
Ah,
Two.
interesting. Even though Maximum can't superior call itself right now and can't retire anything, just getting less value there. Now this is going to be for 18 on 0. Once again, a 20k guard.
No guard.
Okay, Flare Blade takes. No trigger yet.
Then uses bobalmine skill. Move to the soul and countercharge 1.
All right, and now it's time for the CEO to step in.
I attack this welstra. Using its skill, I energy blast 2 cards. And operate maximum again. I return frihiet to my hand.
Oh,
Maximum.
fascinating decision there. Deciding to spare the frihiet. He might be afraid of Kill Shroud popping off that key rear guard for extra operates, but we'll see if that actually works out.
So this
Now-
is 23,000 power.
No guard.
All right, and that's a no guard.
This is a twin drive. First check, a no trigger. Then a second check. Heal trigger. It doesn't work, but I give 10,000 pounds of fritchutz maximum.
A heal trigger. Both players are sitting at 1 damage at the moment, so that will be able to be effective here. So they can get an extra 10,000 power to fritchutz maximum and recovering back down to 0. And the best part about that is that now that fritchutz is back to the drop zone, if they play the new support card grade 1 that came out in set 8, they'll be able to bot deck that. Oh, but Flare Blade does get a nice little treat for himself, being able to damage check into a draw trigger.
It's like for a draw trigger, so I'll go ahead and draw one extra card.
Ooh. And now,
Hopefully
however, that's a drop in the bucket. 33 on 10.
Fritchutz maximum.
No guard. Heal trigger.
Another
Ooh,
heal.
and another
Okay.
heal trigger being checked. Flare Blade fires right back, staying at 2. Oh, for two very aggressive decks, seeing the total turn count being a 2 damage to 0 damage is insane right now. Okay.
I end my turn.
Now it's Flareblade's turn. Time to see the giant Gundam come out to play.
All right.
Stand and draw. Normally my flame burns red, but today it burns in an azure blue. They say that the blue flames burn harder than red, so let's test that theory out. I discard Mass Burial in hand. Dust the battlefield in azure blue. Ride! Blue Death Star Skyrender. Vanguard.
Okay.
Stelvane will activate his skill. Search my deck for a grade 2 strategy order and add it to the hand.
Oh, and from one comes another with obliteration strategy being added back to the hand.
Yep, this new support card that came in set 7 actually revitalized a once-dead archetype in Vanguard.
Preparations are complete. Pull. Honda halfway. Honda's skill. Counterblast 1 to draw 1 card.
Nice.
Then, I will activate Mass Burial to hand.
All right. With the skill of Mass Burial, this has a couple of interesting skills. When you place it into the order zone, into the soul from the order zone, you can get one of the following abilities. You can either go for A, which is at the end of the battle, your Vanguard attack. If it's the first battle, you can search for an Vanguard card to the hand, so like a Persona Ride Searcher. Or alternatively, you can choose the more aggressive option, which is that when your Vanguard is rode upon, that new placed unit will inherit all of the power, trigger effects, and abilities of that previous unit. So, in other words, it basically bypasses the downsides of rewriting a Vanguard versus restanding it. A very interesting dual-faceted order card. Let's see how Flareblade will use this.
For now, I won't activate Vanguard's ability at the moment. Cause now, I'll call this. Come to me and turn the title of battle. I call the Ace units. Burn Mail, Exordia.
Ace unit in effect. When it's placed on rear circle and then during the battle phase, it gets 5,000 power. Furthermore, by energy blasting 3, a kind of cost that Blue Desert doesn't traditionally use, so he's got an excess of that in play here. He can look at the top 3 cards of the deck and choose any card from among them to add to the hand. Very nice +1 that would make Sargon blush.
However, since my set order count is 2, I can search up to 5.
Indeed.
And the card that will be added won't be revealed.
Keeping an air of mystery in there, what could that card have been? Okay.
Better than 1 giant robot, 2 giant robots, and we're about to see them do some damage this turn.
It's not a Gundam fighter, there's only 1 Gundam.
Oh,
Next, I'll activate Disruption Strategy, Kill Shroud.
Oh.
Alright, Kill Shroud in effect, granting 5,000 power to Vanguard, and in addition, allowing him to choose any of his rear guards to retire this. If that's not enough, whenever Vanguard assumes the strategy order, he's able to immediately get a 5,000 power for himself and a draw.
It's honestly.
Let's get rid of that pesky fenlicta.
Ooh, fenlicta going down with the hole.
She's being better.
And then Dock on Blue Death Star Sky Hyren Driver Vanguard Richter to the rear guard.
Oh, calling a Richter to rear guard. Fascinating play on his part.
That must mean the likelihood of you having another one in your team is quite high then.
What's interesting is he opting to stay on the regular Skyrender. It's possible. Skyrender only gained 10,000 power between its skill and Kill Shroud, and with Hand to Halfway being another 10k booster with its own skill, that's already 33k in 2 drives. It's a pretty good Vanguard swing. And Skyrender is very interesting because it has an on-hit skill to restand, with there being 0 damage for our Welstra opponent here and him needing damage to scale up. He's very much inclined to let this on-hit go through anyway. Flareblade probably saw to it that he also retired that back throw so that the front row also be vulnerable to being attacked. I see that he's really looking to try and play for the bare minimum here, so the next turn will be way more crucial.
Indeed. And with those extra drive checks, you know, we haven't seen many criticals from Flareblade so far.
That's a really good point. We've seen a lot of things like draws and heal triggers, but not the nice saucy yellow triggers.
Yep. And
Alright, here we go. Ready for takeoff. Vanguard will strike for 23k.
Alright, he's going for 23k. Yep, and that's a no guard being confirmed from Welstra. Now it's time for 2 checks.
Twin drive. First check.
Ooh,
Critical
and
trigger.
There's the critical trigger.
There's the critical.
Right on
Critical.
time, eh, Arxel?
Mm-hmm.
Flip more crit.
10,000 power going to Richter.
Alright, crit to Van, but power goes to the rear guard.
I can check now.
No
All right.
trigger.
No trigger there. Still,
Damage.
2 damage is really nice. Let's see what Welstra checks. Oh, got his own
Ooh,
critical.
his own critical.
I'll do the power afterwards, after I do the second check. Actually,
Alright, what's he going to give the power to for this first check? Alright, he's giving it to Welstra, which very fair assessment there. He's got to do what he can to survive this.
Oh,
Damage
no.
check being a eurianthy. That's kind of a bummer right now.
Yep. At least he already has one in play, though, thankfully.
Alright, and now that Vanguard managed to successfully land an attack, he can fire off his very devastating skill.
And since the attack successfully landed, Vanguard will now reignite.
With that one, that's a restunning, and it still gets at least 1 drive, so there's a chance for another critical, or the famous OT that Brandt gets known for, Elder Breath.
Oh, if he could see an Elder Breath on this check, there may not be a next turn for Welstra in this game state.
Boosted by, I'll attack with Exordia against your rearguard Welstra.
Ooh, what's very fascinating about this one is that it actually has the ability to get an extra 5,000 power when it attacks the opponent's Great Theory Greater, and then it can get an additional 5,000 on top of that, and there he is, by doing the cost of resting in order. Yeah, that's a huge attack at 25. Welstra had no choice but to leave that battlefield. Oh, Vanguard is
That's
definitely
super
really
annoying,
punishing the weak points of Welstra right now.
Indeed, and with 2 persona rates out of the way,
Richter. Ready to take aim and get ready for launch.
Oh, Richter's coming in next. Fascinating. He's withholding his attack until Vanguard at the very end there. Is he trying to maximize his ability to pierce through with the Vanguard here and minimize any potential... Oh, he might be trying to minimize any defensives
It's
from
fine.
Welstra here.
fenlicta guard.
Fenlicta guards the attack. Ooh. Interesting.
Nice.
But I think I can understand why he would do this though. With no energy there, he's only gonna be able to energy charge up to 3 in the next turn. Fenlicta is too expensive for this scenario.
Yep, and he can
Now.
do 20 damage.
Boosted by Hanada halfway. Skyrender Vanguard will make the last strike for the turn.
Alright, 33,000 with a
No
critical.
guard.
Oh,
Nice
that's a
drive.
no guard with only 1 drive.
Oh,
This
no.
can't kill, but it's still going to be a hell of a hit.
Drive check. A heal trigger.
Heal
A
trigger,
heal
though, that's
trigger! Oh! No, that's fascinating. Did Flareblade possibly swing on rear guards too because he also knew that if he attacked the Vanguard, he could get himself out of the heal range? Now the total damage is going to be 1 to 4.
Trigger.
And he gets the counter trick, so now he's fully back online for next turn.
No
Okay.
However, is this going to be the end of Flareblade's assault, though?
Does look like it. Unfortunately, Flareblade has ran out of attacks, and even going so far as to declare this is his final attack, for now anyway. But still, a very effective turn there, dealing such excruciating damage to Welstra. This is not looking good for our CEO.
Remember the last fight we had in this matchup? flare blade. It ended. You pushed me so close. Yet you couldn't get all the way. That's why you're the best fighter I could. That's why you're the best fighter I know. And that's why I want to beat you even more.
All right, declaring his intentions, he stands, draws, and plays lubetzal. Okay. This fight, it's personal for these friends.
Indeed.
Soul charge.
Oh.
I call frihiet.
Not an order.
Using frihiet skill. I discard Planet Wall Dragon.
Discarding another perfect guard from the hand. This madman might be trying to go for it this turn.
Oh my god. Wait, but if that's the case though, if he had the PG in the last one, why didn't he use the last one to save off the action?
He must have wanted the damage. With more counterblast, Welstra can use more skills.
Ooh, and that also he can
turned out plus more operates.
Okay, playing another lubetzal, which means another draw and another soul charge. It's getting lots of resources from this. Oddly not soul charging any triggers there, so that could increase his ratio.
Good. Indeed. And just like with Blurblade, we haven't seen...
Lucky me, I got the exact stuff I needed.
Ooh.
I pulled bobalmine and a frihiet. I attacked the Vanguard with frihiet, using its skill. Soul Blast 2 cards and operate 8 fritchutz maximum. I retire Canada halfway and take 5,000 power away from your Vanguard.
Ooh, starting with Canada halfway.
Hold
Now
up. I'll guard.
with-
Hold up. I'll guard with.
Sorry.
I'll guard with habitable zone.
Ooh, okay, guarding. Very interesting cycler there. Okay, a 5k guard was all he needed.
I now attack again, using frihiet skill again. This time, I'll operate maximum, returning frihiet to my hand.
Okay, getting out another fritchutz maximum, and that could be paired in part with whatever Welstra does. Welstra has 2 choices here. You could try to go for another maximum for more attacks, or just to get the damage pink from eurianthy. He's got pretty good options at this stage.
That's true, but with the position he's in, he probably the logical option would seem like it would be eurianthy. The 10k thing, the 3 damage. That sounds way too juicy to give up.
All right. With fritchutz being operated again, which rear guard's going to be retired from this field?
I retire Vanguard of Richter.
Oh, going for the Richter here. It's fascinating that he's not going for the intercept card. You'd think that'd be a clear first target, but maybe he's got something else in mind here.
Well, Jinky, if you look at the ace units, they actually have no shield value to use.
Ah, right. I always forget about them. Thank you for the little heads up there. No wonder he's not going for it. It wouldn't be meaningful. Still,
very powerful card, but very powerful cards ace units are. However, the one downside is the fact that because they have no shield value, once they're used, they're just gonna be standing there, unable to help the Vanguard protect.
God. Did you guard the 18k?
So what are you aiming for?
The Vanguard.
In that case, no guard.
All right, no guarding this attack. Oh, but landing a critical trigger to set him back up to 13k. Not a bad hit. bobalmine going to soul to countercharge 1. And it looks like it's time for the CEO once more to step into the ring.
Here comes the giant fist.
I attack with welstra and operate an extreme satellite weaponry eurianthy.
Ah, his signature new weapon eurianthy, retiring a rear guard and dealing both minus 10,000 and also paying a damage. Let's see it.
Minus 10,000 and ping you 1 damage point.
All right. Now here comes an interesting thing here. If he can damage ping into another trigger there, then Vanguard is going to be looking really good.
23k.
Oh,
No,
but he
that's
does
not
it.
right.
So now it's 23 versus 3. That's a pretty big attack.
Judging from two criticals, and damage, and 3 near criticals, and 1 critical in a drop.
Oh, he's counting up the amount of criticals that he's seen from our welstra player.
I certainly would. After all, this attack very much makes or breaks it. With only the twin drive left out there, and basically no other cards after eurianthy goes, and then frichiet's back in port. There's only going to be a total maximum of like 5 cards that Welstra could guard for an entire turn of Vanguard. So he needs to just make sure that he survives this turn, and a gust of breeze could potentially do in the CEO.
So we're dealing with 5 criticals in deck and 1 over trigger left.
5, 21 left, and back.
We're looking at something a little bit over a 20, something in the ballpark of over 25% chance of hitting at least one of those, but that's hard to say in this scenario here.
Perfect guard.
Need perfect guards.
All right, he's got a perfect guard by discarding Richter from the hand. All right, then.
Ooh.
That great they won't be necessary for guarding.
Point drive.
Right.
First. No
okay, that's a no trigger.
Okay.
Second.
A heal.
Another heal trigger, though. These fighters, it's almost as if the triggers are reflecting their stubbornness and not wanting to lose this game to their friend here. Neither of them giving an inch and constantly keeping the damage down. All right, this is now a tie ball game of 3-3, and frichiet's Maximum's coming in hot for 33 on 3.
I attack the Vanguard with frichiet's Maximum for 33,000 on 3,000.
No guard. Damage check.
All right, and with that damage check comes the end of the turn for Welstra there.
My turn.
Ooh, definitely a lot of damage done on that turn there. Welstra's not to be underestimated, but this is the big turn. Vanguard goes on to turn 4 here. He's got a lot of setup, but no board. How much can he cough back up, though, I wonder?
At least. This battle's so much fun.
Also, do you know the reason why I called Richter and Exordia specifically to the field? Yeah.
It's because you planned
I know you're gonna retire my entire board. So what's the best way to keep your best units in your hand? So Persona Ride.
He had another one. Persona Ride in effect. Drawing 1 card and 10,000 to the front row. Okay, he's bringing his A game here.
Perfect.
Could be it.
Alright. Here, we'll go ahead and activate Mass Burial.
All right. Strategy card online, Mass Burial. Placing it into the soul to draw a card. 5,000 power goes to Vanguard, and now he can select one of the following effects, but which one will he declare?
Let's go. Let's go ahead and activate that second effect.
Oh, he's going for the aggressive effect. Now when Vanguard is rode upon, he'll be able to inherit all of those trigger and strategy order effects over to the next guy. That's very interesting, though, considering that he discarded Richter there. Does he have a way to get it back?
Interesting, yep. That means he really is going to go big push.
Of course I do. But before that, call Aladagante.
Ah, Aladagante.
Soul Blast out 1. And then add 1 strategy order that I did not put the soul this turn to hand. Adding my signature move. Shock strategy, Death Winds.
Ah, the Great 3 strategy order. Death Winds grants an ability where when your Vanguard attacks, you give 5,000 power to the front row, and it's not a once per turn, meaning that it really emphasizes the strong point of being able to get multiple Vanguard swings in Avant-Garde, a la Degarte. Even though it's not a Blue Duster by name, it is certainly one of the best support cards Blue Dusters have at their disposal.
But I can't let the Sword of Losing defeat me.
And then, you think I did not? I discarded my Richters. There's like they're nothing for my last turn. No, they're just giving me some unhelpful leverage for this turn. Call Asagi Milestone with her skill Counterblast 1, and then I'll add Avant-Garde Richter to my hand.
Ah, with the Asagi Milestone getting back the Richter, so he had a plan after discarding that. He always had a Richter in the makings there, he just hit it. Just like he declared earlier to his opponent, one of the best ways to deal with field control is to simply keep your real pieces in the hand for the kill turn. And he's been waiting for this moment. Now let's see if that'll actually come to fruition for a kill here. Velstra's still down to 3, and he's still got a few cards left to guard with.
No. It really does seem like he's been holding all the pieces for his crucial turn.
His board's still looking a little barren though. Ah, and here comes the superior ride into Avant-Garde Richter. As some people like to jokingly say, Richter gets in the robot.
Haha, yeah.
Taint the clouds, the skies, even the entire galaxies in your color in tainted blue. I dock on. Blue Death Star, Sky and Driver, Avant-Garde Richter.
Alright. Avant-Garde Richter, by binding the Avant-Garde Vanguard and revealing in the hand, it can superior ride. And it gets the act ability of Avant-Garde until the end of the turn, meaning that he can put another strategy order into the soul from the order zone and inheriting its effects. That also means that it inherits the restand ability of Avant-Garde, which is enhanced because when you Persona Ride, you can restand your Vanguard regardless if it hits or not. So that means that we're going to have 3 Vanguard attacks when you include the restand and then Richter's secondary skill to Superior Ride Avant-Garde from the bind zone. 3 Vanguard attacks versus 4 cards in the hand. Welstra is probably sweating right now.
For a total of... And that's going to be a lot of drive checks this turn too.
Shock strategy, Death Win, and immediately activate it.
Alright, shock strategy online.
5,000 power and I draw a card. And then my Vanguard gets a new skill.
With shock strategies, as I mentioned before, whenever his Vanguard swings, all the front row gets 5,000 power. And because of the previous strategy, when he rides over with the original Avant-Garde, it'll inherit the effect of shock strategy. So he's going to be giving a total of plus 15,000 power to his front row and with these 3 attacks. That's an astronomical amount of extra power here.
And those attacks, as you mentioned earlier, will keep stacking.
Sabine Melkmar, with her skill, Energy Blast 3, and retrieve a strategy order to my hand.
Alright, getting back to strategy order, but the more crucial bit here is that he has another very nice unit on the front row. Both of these units, Melkmar and D'Arche, actually have a skill where when your Vanguard swings, you're able to get 5,000 power as long as it's a Blue Duster. That means that with 3 Vanguard swings, that they're also going to get an extra 15,000 power. That 15 plus the 15 to front row plus the 10 to front row means that they're both going to be at minimum 50k swingers.
Yep.
Alright.
Ooh, I see some fireworks today.
My only chance is to hit a damage trigger.
Alright, it's wartime.
Also, you took my line. Jokes aside, I'm going to
All right. Battle phase has been declared. Fladebraid's going to start get into action here. And as we know from the attack patterns, it starts with the Vanguard as always.
Let's go ahead. First strike. Richter's skill from Death Winds. Add 5,000 power to the front row. In addition,
No god.
Melkmar and Avalon Dagante got additional 5,000 power along with it.
No god.
Checking the twin drive. First, no trigger. And the second check. No trigger.
Whoa.
Nothing
But
there
which
so
one, the
far.
first one?
Damage check.
Whoa,
No
bobalmine
trigger.
though. No defensive.
It's all right. We got dry drives and drier damages.
No.
Avengard Richter's second ignition.
All right, getting in the restand here. That's another stand, which means another swing.
Richter goes
No
again.
god.
Skill. Plus 5,000 to front row. In addition, plus 5,000 to both Melkmar and Richter. And Aladagante.
This is how I'm probably gonna lose.
All right, 38 on Velstra
No
with
god.
one drive.
Right check.
No god.
Ooh,
No
again,
trigger.
no trigger. Still dry, but what does Velstra have?
Damage check. Heal
Oh my
trigger.
A heal trigger yet again. Oh, Velstra simply refuses. However, with that heal trigger having been revealed and knowing from what we've seen from the other drive checks there, we've already confirmed most of the heals gone by this point. That is absolutely insane. All right.
And
3 more swings though.
and now.
So
And now, final breakthrough. Oh, wait, I think I forgot to discard, didn't I? Oh, I forgot to discard for like the skill, so I'll just do that real quick. Alright.
Go for it.
Initiate final breakthrough. Discarding 1 and 2. And 2.
Also, let me just quickly. I should mark my power
oh,
before I forget.
All right, Avant-Garde is going to be superior riding from the bind zone with plus 10,000 power, but minus the drive. That with the skill of Death Winds and also 10,000 to the front row means that Avant-Garde is going to be swinging in for a similar number to this one, 38 with only 1 drive. Still, against
Now, bolt
what
out.
Velstra is. All right, he's going for it.
Going to the fray. Avantgarde. Attack. Skill from the inherited Death Winds. Plus 5 to the front row. And Melkmar gets and Aladagante get additional 5,000 power.
No god.
All right, no guarding again. Velstra's simply eating all these attacks. Will this 4th and final drive actually give him something good? Let's see what Flareblade hits.
Check.
You won't hit.
Ooh,
Yeah,
he doesn't hit anything. Uh-oh. But what about the damage check?
no
Ah.
trigger.
this time around.
Still dry, though. All right. Now Velstra has to deal with 2 powerful, huge hulking ladies on the rear guards here. Can he do it?
Are those 4 cards he's been holding, or will those be like get him to next turn?
A moment of silence. Is Flareblade perhaps thinking? There's already 5 damage there. Either of these attacks can seal the deal. So which one is he going to do first? Likely the lower attack. Okay, he's attacking. That's going to be for a total of 50 on the Vanguard.
50 on 23. Ooh.
38. No god.
He no guards
No
it again.
guard.
Damage check.
What you got? One last check? Maybe a miracle can happen
Heal
for this heal.
trigger.
Oh my goodness.
Another heal trigger! What are the odds? All 4 heals have been revealed out there. That is absolutely insane luck on Angus's part. Holy crap.
Wow.
When they
That's
say
that
I'd rather be
gamble.
lucky than skillful, they really mean it in this case. All right, 33. But even with that, will he still be able to guard this final attack? This final attack coming in for 63 on 33.
He just needs 35 shield.
God. I'll just know that I have it.
Let's just go ahead. Let's just, this is gonna be like
I'll just
Okay,
show
Scar.
that I.
Holy crap. Who would have thought the
This will be-
odds there? Never tell them the odds.
this will be 40. Wait, this will be 40, 50, 58, 63.
63, yep,
So-
that's just enough to get through it. Yep, that 35.
All right,
shield.
intercepting
Those
and
two
guarding with
defenses
double
come in
heals from the hand. Oh man, Arxel. I don't think any of us saw that absolutely disgusting triple heal sack coming in.
clutch. No,
I
mean,
siree.
shoot.
But like you said, with all
Heck,
the heals
actually,
out
with the
there,
early ones, have all 4 heals been resolved here actually successfully? I think they have.
for Welstra, yes. However, though, for Vanguard, though, I think we haven't seen many heals from him. Actually, we've seen like I think only we've seen 2
Brandon
heals out
Rule.
of him so far.
Okay. And now Velstra's going to go ahead and start his turn, energy charging up to 4. Okay, so Velstra's going to begin the turn with 3 cards.
I call frihiet. Using frihiet skill. Discarding fenlicta.
Oh, which means he can superior call fenlicta. Very nice. And then he can get any order
Okay.
that he pleases.
Fun
Oh.
fact. Fail the search. I'm all out of products.
He's all out of products. Uh-oh.
Oh, Ooh,
This is really the late game now.
Operate maximum via fenlicta. Actually, no.
Uh-oh.
Lubetzal.
Angus, Angus operating lubetzal. But that's that's fascinating though. By energy blasting 4 to operate lubetzal, how does he expect to get any more energy this turn? The CEO won't be able to activate his skill now. Let's hope that the card he calls is worth it.
Call bobalmine.
Oh, calling bobalmine. And then with that bobalmine being called, he'll be able to still get another unit in soul to activate the skill of his rear guard to operate. So he still has one more operate after this. Okay, he's swinging.
16k.
16k over on the rear guard there, it looks like, trying to limit the offense. Oh, seems to be some audio interference here. Just bear with us here, audience. Some technical difficulties there, but the fight will continue. Okay, he gets rid of the unit just like that. All right, not worth the guard, it looks like. All right, moving into the soul, he'll be able to get another counter charge.
that was
You know it's going long when then I attack, operate maximum tie eled argente, neg 5k, CB, bounce, cool maximum.
All right, that's a 5k guard right there.
No more energy left to spare.
he only got 4 damage right now, so he could take 1 hit. But this will probably be the safest. This will be the safest block right now. Hopefully.
Indeed. If he doesn't want to bet Danny getting a single critical there, if he wants to go to 5, that's the only way here. But maybe he doesn't even want to take it that way.
Yep.
That's probably the infuriating thing about this. It's such an easy attack to guard, but at the same time, it's the only safe attack here.
Yeah. Yep, because even though Welstra has burned through all the seals, there's still a decent amount of crisp left, and also the Elder Breath is just
The Elder
waiting
Breath.
to jump scare.
Hitting the Elder
most
Breath here would be
powerful.
absolutely game-winning if he hits it. Holy crap.
Yep. One of the most terrifying OTs in the game, next to Dragvita.
All right, what's Flare Blade going to do?
no guard.
He no guards
Critical
it.
trigger.
Ooh, getting a
Vanguard.
critical trigger
Perfect.
here. Very nice here. Now he'll be able to stop Welstra pretty reliably. With no energy left to spare, Velstra's going to have to go in 13 on 18.
Okay, here we go.
One to pass.
I'm not chancing that. Perfect guard.
Ooh.
Perfect guarding
Twin
this.
guard.
All right.
First check. Critical.
trigger.
Also rear guard.
And then the second check.
I'm just gonna. Second check.
And a front trigger. Oh, Danny pulling his miracle luck again, getting a double trigger at the crucial time. Vanguard's only got 5 cards on hand. Can he block this?
I attack for 43,000 power.
3,000. Avant-garde for
Okay.
18. He needs 30 shield to block this.
2 triggers. Let's see if Flair will be able to cough it
Does
up
he have
despite
it?
hitting no triggers on his drive checks.
All right. Now, all of you, join the fray.
Oh, okay. He got super excited on that last one. Truly
All
asserting
right.
his dominance.
Both of our fighters, they're tired and they're nervous. Their misplays are going to be a lot more likely here, but at the same time, that's a part of the skill of Vanguard, being able to navigate through low stamina and low sanity.
Both of them
All I
with
can
5
say,
damage.
Fairblade. Imagine I hit OT.
Dang, calling it out right now.
I'm gonna make
He's
sure
A
that
I
1 in
just said-
11%.
Velstra's already bringing up the idea of hitting a defensive OT. Is his greed so insatiable that he isn't satisfied for hitting 4 heals? He wants the OT too? Then again, OT is also still a possibility for Avant-Garde as well, so that works both ways. Let's see if either of them will be able to hit that for this deciding turn.
Right now with Welstra, with 11 cards in deck, there's a 9% chance for Elder Breath on his side. Meanwhile, with Avant-Garde, there's probably a less than that. Well, there's a much higher less higher percentage right now. So,
This one's hard to say. Alrighty, let's see what Flairblade's going to do for his turn. Alright, he's going to go ahead and Persona Rite the Avant-Garde from the hand. Looking at the current play order, he needs to draw from there, and now he needs to draw once more from the Persona Rite, drawing 2 cards total.
Okay. Now,
is that gonna be all he calls though?
spoilers, I do not have a strategy order. However,
Oh no, no, that means you can't stand.
wrong.
Ooh.
There's one other way I can restand. Call a soggy milestone.
Oh, the
no.
Soggy
Into the hand.
Milestone once again getting Richter back.
Wait,
And once again,
if
Richter
you hit,
goes back to my hand.
Yeah, and
It
because
hit
of
with
Richter's
Richter.
secondary skill, it can use that multi-attack to superior ride back Avant-Garde. He found a workaround to running out of strategy orders.
Nice.
Alright,
Come
now
on
then.
and Lock on. Sky and Driver. Avant-Garde Richter.
Alright, Avant-Garde Richter being thrown down once again.
And while we're at it, we're calling another Asagi.
Ooh.
Ooh, and Asagi's on a once per turn. He could get back another Richter if he so chose.
Maybe that's a triple.
And he's gonna go ahead and get back another Avant-Garde. Very nice. Although he can't
Yep,
superior
back
call
up.
cards directly, Asagi is the one way he'll be able to recuperate cards back to that field there. So once again,
Well,
we could
yeah.
be seeing an Avant-Garde on the
Once
rear
again.
guard. Ah,
My original self. Skyrender for Avant-Garde.
he's going to go ahead and get an avatar call here, throwing down Avant-Garde to that front row. Now he's got a lineup of 13k bases.
Yep. And with the Persona Rite buff, he is gonna make sure that this is the final turn no matter what it is.
The only issue is that the Asagi milestones don't get any power because he didn't put any cards for the Orders Under the Zone this turn, which is why he's not calculating their power-ups. But even with that, the Persona Rite still makes it an 18k base, and then the 23 over on Vanguard. Okay, this is the last turn, it looks like.
Yep, we do know that from the last
milestone?
check.
Take aim.
Oh, Asagi going for 18 on the Vanguard. Okay, this is the easiest one to block, but is Welstra going to go ahead and cough it up?
This is the safest attack to take. Actually, the rear guards are the safest rear guards to take.
Is he betting it all on the Elder Brandt?
I would imagine so. He was betting it all on heal triggers and it worked out for him. He might get that 9% chance.
An intercept.
Oh, never mind. He's not betting. Okay, he's going to go ahead and block up to 23 versus 18. Oh, there's 3 more attacks to go. With only 3 cards in the hand and he's at 5 damage. This is the crunch time.
I mean, yep, it's a good thing he's guarding out. Otherwise, you know, the comments are going to get us all alive.
23k to the Vanguard.
23.
With the twin drive.
Guard with Barbazonde for 1 to pass.
Oh, 1 to passing it. What a bet.
Wow.
Twin drive. First check. Critical trigger.
Critical trigger.
There you go.
No, there.
Oh,
Hang
no.
on. I would have died if I took the rear guard swing. Good game.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Well done to both of our fighters. This was a long and arduous game, but they managed to see it through to the end there. Some excellent display.
I hate the fact that I hit more.
Alrighty. Well, this was a long game here, but to our fighters, how did you feel about this one? How do we see this match turning out?
So, I don't know. No, I don't know. This is like the most focused I was in the fight, actually.
Fair enough. And over for you, Angus?
I'm just glad I lost to Fairblade, is all.
Alright. Arxel, anything other notes about this fight overall?
It really, Angus honestly kind of gave us the embodiment of what a charisma fighter is, taking luck over skill any time of the day, and it paid off. I mean, it kind of paid off a good chunk of the game, but I mean, those early discards of those PGs honestly felt like it could have came in really clutch in the late game, but yep. So I mean, Flutterblade definitely was able to capitalize on that for sure, because he was able to hold his PGs. He waited for the right moment to deliver the decisive blow, and it paid off.
Yeah, this is a really good example of intelligence fighting mitigating charisma fighting. Flutterblade had a really strong plan all the way from the very beginning there. When he held back those pieces, he knew to do that even before the field hit. So he knew whatever else fails, I needed to set up for a kill turn, so he did. So even with all the extra heals, putting a real dampener on that turn and foiling it overall, he was still able to conserve everything necessary to just clap back on the next turn there. So very well played on both fighters' parts. Still, with that, we're going to go ahead and put an end to this feature match. So for those of you out there who are still craving more action, then be sure to check out the other feature matches that have occurred this round. We had a couple very tasty ones for you to look over. And if you're looking forward to others, then definitely like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that handy dandy notification bell for when we start uploading the round 3 feature matches, which should be around the corner here in just a few days. And in the meantime, you're looking for other Vanguard content aside from that, well, look no further. Whether it be top 10s, discussions, fight nights, custom card reviews, or even anime reactions, we do it all here. So let's hope you enjoy. And with that said, take care and God bless y'all.
Y'all in the next one.
Later.